Welcome to Boxing Fan Talks TV. I'm your host, TT, and you can refer to me as Miss P. Let's get into this boxing world. Let's turn to. Welcome back. I'm going to start the show off. This wasn't what I was going to start it off with. But when I criticize somebody, I also will praise them. So I want to give Jake Paul his praise. I found out yesterday he donated $1 million+ to his undercard. He gave Serrano one of the biggest paychecks that she ever had. Not to mention, it's probably the biggest paycheck that any female fighter has ever gotten. Now, she's set for life if she knows how to spend her money, which I'm sure she does. That was good on his part. That was a good thing. But I will say, doing good deeds, Jake Paul, does not negate your bad deeds. So just remember that. We had a saying in the Navy, it takes you can have 1,000 attaboys and one screw up, and they'll remember you for your screw up, pretty much. So doing that, good on you, but it doesn't negate what you've done in the past. So you're gonna have to find a healthy balance. But that's all I wanted to say about that. Shout out to Jake Paul for doing that. I wish that a lot of fighters in the future would copy that, and if you know somebody's getting paid really low, especially if you're a co-main event, you know, and you getting millions upon millions, you know, why not? But I can't tell anybody how to spend their money. So if that's something that people want to do in the future, don't be afraid to do it. It's just money. Can't take it with you. But as y'all saw the caption, Romero and Tank Davis is likely to happen in December. And if we remember last June, Floyd Mayweather said he only want to do in-house fighting. That's all he want to do is people that's fighting on his side of the street, as they say. So PBC fighters or people under his umbrella, the Mayweather promotion, that's all Floyd wants to make his fighters fight. Well, Rolly Romero is under Mayweather promotion. Tank Davis is under Mayweather promotion. This is a good fight. This is an excellent fight. So to all the casuals out there, this is a fight you want to see. Tank Davis is a star. He is a star, as Leonard Ellerby said. Tank Davis, Tank Davis, he's a star. That's how I'm doing my best impression of Leonard Ellerby, but who's the CEO of Mayweather Promotion. But Tank, that's a good fight for you, Tank. That right there, instead of all that other stuff he was doing, that's an actual good fight. So and this was according to Steven Espinoza, who works at Showtime, and he would know. He would know. I guess he runs the boxing division for Showtime. If he said it's likely to happen, more than likely it's going to happen. Rolly is not scared. Rolly been calling out Tank for a long time. He talks about people in a disrespectful manner. You could call it promoting the fight. You could say that he's interesting or he makes himself interesting. Now we always joke about Rolling and say that something ain't all the way there with him. I always say he can't get right. If y'all remember the movie Life, when they say that dude can't get right, that's Rolling, to a certain extent to me. But Rolly has shown improvement. We got on Rolly when he talked disrespectful to Devin Haney. You know, um, my reason is if you're not gonna fight somebody, don't say nothing about it. And definitely leave family out. I just said that yesterday. You're disrespecting Bill Haney and you shouldn't. Your beef is with Devin, not his father. So we got on Rolly, and that came like literally like a couple of weeks after I was praising Rolly. Because when Rolly lost that fight to the guy named Jackson, which he lost, and he got a Christmas present on that fight because he that dude Jackson beat him pillar to post. He beat him. He outboxed him and outclassed him, and they gave the fight to Rolly. Rolly in every fight will be aggressive, and he knows he hits hard. See, that's Tank's. Um, I ain't gonna say saving grace, but that's the big thing that they talk about Tank. That Tank hits hard. And when you hit hard, sometimes you set up everything trying to hit your opponent real hard and knock them out. But Rolly got that kind of power just like Tank. Now, here's the question: can Tank take his own power? Can he take somebody who is as strong as he is? We don't know because we have never seen him in the ring with somebody who is as strong as he is. So that is something we're anxious to see. But like I said, this is a big fight. This is a real big fight. This is one that you definitely want to pay for. I don't know where it would be. I think it could be in three places, I would say. It could be ATL, and that's where Tank like to fight nowadays. It could be in Baltimore. Tank is from Baltimore. Or it could be in Las Vegas, because I think Broly live out there. It doesn't matter where it is, that's a fight. And it's going down in December. They didn't say a date, or I didn't see a date, and I will update that as soon as I get information. I will update you guys with a date. But a big fight in December is also a top rank card with Lomachenko. They don't have an opponent announced just yet, but between Loma and Tank, I'm going with Tank. I'm gonna go with Tank every day and twice on Sunday. Um, and maybe I'll double back. I don't know, but December is looking pretty good right now. It's looking pretty good. Um, uh, if you don't know much about Rolly Romero, go back and watch some of his clips on YouTube. And I know I said clips, it's old school lingo, like tapes or video, I should say. Go back and watch some of his video on YouTube and watch how he talk about Tank and watch how he talk about Devin. Him and Teofimo used to have a field day talking about Devin and Tank. They used to talk about Tank's weight and everything, calling him a fat boy and all this stuff. I mean, they roast the hell out those two. Rolly does, and T.O. helped a little, but you don't hear much from T.O. no more. I guess he got enough on his plate with his fight coming up in October 5th. But Rolly has a lot to say. He's When y'all look at him, you'll see why I say he can't get right. Yeah, it's a combination of how he sound, the things he say, the way he talk, even how he dip his eyebrows. He's always. You ever see somebody dip their eyebrows? That's supposed to be like mean, right? But then he'll smile at the same time. You dip your eyebrows and then you smile. That's hard to do. That's hard to do. I had a cousin that could do that, but that is hard to do. It's the weirdest look. Dip your eyebrows and smile at the same time. That's like raining, but it's a clear sky and the sun is beaming. It's out, which do happen, by the way, in Florida. So shout out to Florida, state of Florida. But these guys don't like each other, and I would say the instigator between the two is Rolly. Rolly really believes he can beat Tank. He really believes he can beat Devin. He knows he can beat Ryan. These are things this man really believes. And Rolly ain't scared. That's one thing I do like about him. He ain't scared when he's in there. He'll throw his punches. His last fight, he actually looked like he was doing a lot more boxing and being calm and patient and setting up shit. The boy can hit hard. So this is a battle between power and power, and I can't wait to see it. Um, yeah. So he talked about Devin. Now the thing about Devin, when he went off on this rant about Devin, um, the thing that you'll notice, Devin Haney don't say much about anybody. He doesn't talk negative too much about anybody. If he do, it's mostly a response or reaction to what somebody has said about him. There's a lot of fighters that use his name for clout or to boost their brand or to boost themselves. Devin, he doesn't engage in all that type of stuff. He's not with it. Devin keeps his nose clean, he keeps his head tucked down, and he stay in that gym and he stay active. He's ready for anything. And his favorite quote, which I hope he copyright write this or what is it, trademark it. They say everything, but let's fight. I love it. I love the quote because it's true. They'll say everything about this man, but let's fight. In time you speak up and bark at him, and he barks back and say, "Okay, let's fight." They don't want to fight. And this last time, when Rolly was going off, bumping his gums in a negative way about Devin and his father, they said, "Let's make the fight." They first asked Floyd. Floyd said, "Cool," and then the person who turned it down was Rolly. Oddly enough. And the pressure and the backlash was getting to him because then he turned around and said he quit boxing. And then even those people who spoke harshly of him, it was constructive criticism, but it was harsh. They even, those guys, was a lot of people, had said, "Don't be a quitter." That's not how you do life. You can't be an instigator and start some shit, and then when people answer the call, then you turn around and quit. That don't even make sense to nobody. So I'm glad Rolly got out his feelings. Looked like he was throwing a tantrum. That's what I'm gonna call it. In the end of the day, he was throwing a grown man tantrum, and now he's back ready to be a boxer again, I guess. So he claimed between Devin and Tank, he prefer Tank first, I guess. And we're gonna see. We're gonna see because there's no reason why this fight can't happen. Like I said, Devin and Rolly work for Floyd. They're under his not Devin, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Rolly and Tank. I don't know. I got Devin on my mind. Devin is his own man. He works for himself. But Tank and Rolly works for Mayweather Promotion. That fight can certainly be made. And they're both on the PBC side. There's no barriers that can stop this. Lou Dub is in the building. What's up, King? I keep calling you Lou Dub. Your name is Lou, I guess. L Dub. I want to call this man Lou Dub so much. L Dub. I don't even know what does the L stand for, if you don't mind me asking. I keep calling you Lou, and I'm sorry, but I don't know. Your name, the way it's up there, makes me want to say Lou. But there's no barriers that's stopping this fight. So if it don't happen, what does that mean for boxing? What does that mean? This is something we as the fans want to see. This is not complicated. Y'all work for the same guy, Lawrence. Okay, Lawrence. Do they call you Larry? I like Lawrence though. It's very distinguished. Um, this is a fight we all want to see. You know, there's no reason why it can't happen. If it don't happen, what do we think? What do we do? What do we say? Like, why this fight couldn't happen? If that fight can't happen, then no fights can happen. It's gonna be kind of like sad because like, what can you do when you working for the same guy? So to me, that should have been like soon as Steven Espinosa put that out, uh, it should have been a done deal. Because who's in the way? Nobody can be in the way. Tank ain't scared of him. And one time I was trying to figure out why they don't get along. So Brody told the story one day that, because Tank go to the Mayweather gym a lot. He work out and everything. And Tank was coming into the gym, and I guess Rolly wanted to dap him up and be like, "What's up, bro?" or whatever. And Tank told him, "Get away from me, you weird," or like you retarded or something. I fell out because I was like, you know what? If you listen to how Rolly talk, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to you, Rolly, you might be a smart man, but you come off kind of like you might be slow. And that's not a hit against slow people. You see what you see. You know what I'm saying? And Tank, that was his assessment too. Before I even heard that Tank said that, I can't even believe that Rolly repeated it because Tank never said nothing. But I thought the same thing when I heard this man talk. But Tank probably was like, "Get away from me, weirdo." And ever since then, Rolly didn't like him, and Rolly want to hurt him. So Rolly, his comeback is to say how Tank is fat and he can't make weight and he not reliable. And you could be the best boxer in the world, but you know if you can't be reliable to make weight, what are you? Because that's part of the contest. Is the first part is making weight. The second part is in the ring. So this is why they don't like each other. So, and like I said, it shouldn't be a problem. Uh, and y'all want to keep in mind that Top Rank got Lomachenko. So if they doing something in December, Lomachenko's date is December 11th. They have not announced an opponent for him, but I'm sure they got one. Maybe they ain't gonna get T.O. If they was holding out for T.O., they might as well start looking for somebody else because T.O. gonna be fighting. Damn, I had the day October 5th, and then Thursday this week. Don't forget that on WBO's Facebook page is going to be the live purse bid. And this will be the first purse bid that I ever heard that was broadcast live or that we get to see. I thought that was something that was done behind closed doors, but the fans get to see how purse bid go, who is bidding, and we talking about Terrence Crawford and Sean Porter's fight. We don't have a date because first we gotta get the purse bid, and hopefully that fight will be made this year. I don't know what date. I don't know if December is filled up, but we already seen like we got two cards. We got Mayweather coming with a card in December, and then we got Top Rank coming with a card in December. So hopefully there's more cars in December because we don't want to overlap. And so hold on, let me see. I'm glad. What I am glad about is though that Tank and Thurman, that nonsense is put to rest. I'm glad that they're not fighting. I've been said that I didn't think it was a good fight for either one of them. I don't think that Tank should be bouncing around. Tank has given up his 130 belt. Uh, he's not in that division anymore. I don't think he want to try to make weight. But I said a long time ago, he's probably the only fighter that I know that can be undisputed at 130, undisputed at 135, and maybe undisputed at 140. Now, how about that? Can somebody back to back do undisputed? That would be great, right? And Tank, if you have that opportunity, I can't say that about every fighter. I cannot say that they can go from weight to weight and become undisputed. But when you talking 147, Tank, nah, that ain't you. That's not you yet. Maybe in your 30s, maybe 10 years from now, but not right now. Just go on and conquer 135, 140 since you gave up 130. And what's going to happen is that Tank is not going to be able to retain both of those WBA belts. He's going to have to give up one of them. So since he's fighting in December in the 135 weight division, he's pretty much got to give up the 140 WBA title. He has to give it up. That's what the WBA is doing now. They're taking everybody belts, and so Tank is one of them. I mean, they took his. I want to see them do that across the board, though. You know, but it seems like Tank has settled down in the 135 division, which is good because I think that's a perfect division for him. I think at 130 he looked a little small. He didn't look like that. That really was him. He a grown man, and maybe that's too little for him. Um, Especially since he have weight issues, meaning he's a person who can gain weight easily. Not that he's not making his weight, but and people like that, they gotta be at a weight that's not killing them. And 135, if Tank try to stay in shape in the middle and in between his fights, he would be good to go. So 135 it is for Tank Davis. And we all would be looking and waiting for that fight. Um, but I am glad that Thurman and him is not going to do that fight because for Thurman, it'll make him look weak, especially if Tank get the best of him. Even if Thurman won the fight, if Tank rocked him once or twice, it's going to look bad for Thurman. And he don't need that because then he going to really look like a wuss compared to his peers who are real 147 pounders. If he's looking for a fight, fight Jerron Ennis. You know, Jerron Ennis need a fight, but I guess they're gonna match him up with whatever his name, Delorme, which Delorme, no offense, he's kind of like old news a little bit. I mean, Terrence Crawford beat him, and they I don't even think they was in a 147. So Delorme must have moved up um, in weight divisions, but he's gonna fight Jerron Ennis. That's an easy fight for Jerron, but the 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 piece de la resistance is that they asked 15 fighters before they got to Delorme, and they all said no. I want to know who these 15 fighters is. Don't y'all? I want to know who they asked for him to have a fight with, and they said no. Because what we do know is that Jerron Ennis called out Tank. He called out Errol. He called out all the top dogs. He called them all out. He said he want the smoke. Ben said it. He Ben said it. Actually, I remember years ago when he said it, and they was like, "Young boy, just, just chill, just chill. You ain't ready. You think you ready, but you ain't ready." And they had to, chill him down a little bit. And I was like, "Yeah, I agree with that. You're not ready yet. You ain't top tier yet. Get some more experience." But that was years ago. That man is ready. And what is Jerron Ennis is like in his mid 20s or something. He also has 20 something fights. How many more fights do he have to do before these top tier guys give him a chance? Why don't nobody call him out? Why can't there a fight between him and Virgil Ortiz take place? Since we know nobody's fighting Bud, nobody's fighting Earl. Those are the two top dogs in the welterweight division. Nobody's fighting them this year, except for Bud. Is we don't know the date between him and Sean Porter, but that's coming soon. But for the rest of this year, none of the rest of the welterweights is going to have an opportunity to fight Earl or Sean. I mean Earl or Terrence. So Virgil Ortiz, rather you sit around, Jerron asks Virgil. But if he's one of the 15 that turned you down, Jerron, we need to hear from you. We need, because that is the burning question I want. Who are the 15 fighters that you asked? And they said no. Because one thing about Jerron Ennis, he not a punk neither. And he know he the goods. And he would not have went backwards. He doesn't look for scrubs or tomato cans. He only looks forward. So who in the hell did he ask? And they said no. Was it Danny Garcia? Was it Virgil Ortiz? He just fought Lippin yet, so it wasn't him. Uh, wasn't Terrence, and even if he did, Terrence is obligated. Can't fight Earl because Earl is bench right now. So who was it? Was it Sean? Sean is obligated. Who else can I think of? Who else, y'all? Who else are the top dog welterweights? Uh, Jamal or somebody named Jamail or Jamal? I don't know. Did he ask him? Did he ask Granados? Granados has a fight coming up, but did he ask him? Who did he ask? Who's a welterweight? And they said no. Jerron, inquiring minds would love to know. Hey, put that out there. You see my email at the bottom of the screen. Hey, email me. I won't say where I get it from. I really want to know that question because that will explain a lot. We can really see who the Duckers are because this guy, he hasn't, Jerron hasn't had a fight with a top tier guy. He hasn't been able to go fight for the belts. It's like everybody hogging the belts, and this man wants the smoke. So right now, from here forward, I'm going to be on the Jerron Ennis watch, and I'm going to see who's ducking him. And he should put that out. He should put that out because I don't think it's fair to him to stall him out. I don't think that it's fair that all the time people want to go for the belts, but they don't want to clean up the division. Virgil Ortiz, I'm looking for you to call Jerron out. I'm waiting on that. So that's what's going on. This tank fight coming up. Jerron Ennis, I dare say, is ducked. I'm gonna go ahead and say he's being ducked. Because I mean, 15. You asked 15 people and they said no. Can't say it's Chris Van Herden because he fought him. All the lower echelon fighters, they have fought most of them. He fought. Only people left is the top tier, and that ought to not be the case. And Danny, we don't want to hear nothing about both of y'all from Philly. That has nothing to do with the price of tea in China. Nothing. If you and Jerron are in the same weight division, then y'all need to get it on. Y'all need that would be a great fight. That would be a excellent fight, and it's a great headliner too. I would pay to see it. So they said Davis has going back to the Tank and Rolly Romero. They saying that Tank has to decide after his next fight. I guess that's the deadline they giving him. What belt he gonna keep? So I guess up until he fight his next opponent, which Steven Espinoza seems to think is Rolly, come this year in December. Up until that fight happens, Tank can pick between either weight class. Now after that fight, he's got to make a decision. So he gets to keep his belts up until then. After then, one of those belts are gone. So I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't know if Rolly is interested in moving up, but if Tank beats him, Tank is gonna move on to 140. I can see that. And Rolly, you either got to come up there with him. If he lose, he probably want to stay to get another. He'll want a rematch. That would be devastating to Tank if he lose this fight. It would be. I think it would be very devastating to him because I don't think he he can be stopped. And I'm a fan of Tank. I don't know. I want to see the fight. Just because I'm a fan of any particular fighters, it don't mean that I think that they shouldn't have to get in the ring like everybody else. I'm not into protecting a fighter's and just protecting them from a loss or an embarrassment. You got into the sport for a reason. You know what comes with this sport. So you're gonna have to dig in and give your all just like everybody else. So we just gonna we're gonna see. We're gonna see how that works out. The tank. Let's see. I want to try something. Oh, okay. I can do that. Okay. So I just figured out a new trick, y'all. I'm learning this thing. I'm learning. I'm learning. I'm late, but I'm learning. Um, so Top Rank is putting on a couple of cards this year. Like I said before, they got a card in September. They got one in October. They got one definitely in December. I'm not sure about November, but I'm sure they do. Top Rank all over the place. You got Jamail Herring and Shakur Stevenson. It is on. That's a good fight. To all y'all casuals out there, that's a good fight. Because I know there's some people that look at my videos that are not fanatics like I am, and they just want to hear the gist of boxing. They don't want to go way in depth like I want to. So when I say y'all casuals, that's a fight you need to watch. That's what I mean. It's the creme de la creme. It's the top of the bunch. You know what I'm saying? It's top shelf. So you want to watch that. Jamel Herring versus Shakur Stevenson. And you guys can go back and look up some of these guys' fights to see what you're working with, to see how it's gonna be, you know, when they do meet up. Shakur Stevens is like, I want to say damn near a complete fighter. I don't want to say a complete fighter because he's still relatively new to this sport as a professional, but I feel like he's a complete fighter. The question with him is, what can he do? That's the question. But either he is that damn good that he makes people look very basic and ordinary, or he hasn't faced adversity yet. And I'm leaning to he is just that damn good. But he did duck Gary Russell now. Gotta keep it real. He did duck Gary Russell. Why I say that? Because you was in his weight class and you didn't fight him. Here's the WBC champion. Y'all walk right past him and go down the street to the next weight class without even giving him a second glance. I have to say that's what you did. Now, it doesn't matter with Gary Russell. It doesn't matter. You can take the weight class all the way up to 140, and I'm sure he'll oblige you. But y'all didn't want that smoke with Gary, so shame on y'all for that. But Shakur is a complete fighter. Despite that, he's a complete fighter, and I'm anxious to see him and Jamail get in there. Jamail is a good fighter too, but I'm anxious to see who would be the victor in that matchup right there. So that's on. It's on. It's a top ranked event, and it's on October 23rd on ESPN. And that's a Saturday night at the State Farm Arena in ATL. ATL getting all these fights. I might have to drive. Look, I don't live that far from Atlanta, but I hate to drive in Atlanta traffic. If you ever driven in Atlanta, what you gonna see? You gonna see cars got dings in them in the same spot. Every car, they on the very edge of the driver's side in the front fender or the passenger side, or the same thing in the back. That's you know why? Because when they're driving along, I don't know if they switch lanes properly. I ain't gonna say I don't know. I don't think they do because they could be driving along. You could be side by side. Maybe they got a little bit ahead of you. They will switch lanes, not even knowing if they cleared you. They drive crazy in Atlanta. I don't like driving in Atlanta at all. That's why I don't go there hardly ever. But for a good fight, I might have to. If Tank goes there again, I might have to. I just might have to get over my fears. I don't like congested driving. And Atlanta is congested driving. I mean, I don't know why. I used to live in DC and I drove in that every day. But Atlanta is something different. Anyway, they're gonna be at the State Farm Arena in ATL on October 23rd. And Heron is defending his WBO junior lightweight world title. And also on that card is gonna be Nico Walsh. Y'all remember him, Muhammad Ali's grandson, and he's a middleweight. And they haven't announced his opponent yet, but that's gonna be a 4 rounder. So they slow walking him. They slow walking him. All the fights start where the ones that matter. It's starting at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. So that's on ESPN October 23rd, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. That's a fight you want to see. So all you people who don't watch boxing that much, that's one that you want to see. Um, I don't know if it's pay per view. I don't think it is. It might be just a free showing, but it's not pay per view. I don't think. The undercard is streaming live on ESPN Plus. And the undercard that's streaming on ESPN Plus, you get to see Evander Holyfield's son. He called himself Evander Young Holyfield. And tickets go on sale Friday, September 10th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Stevenson said that Jamail had to fight him. That's what Stevenson said. He had to fight him or get stripped of his title. He promises a devastating win or victory over Herring. Now, I don't know how they try to fashion what went down, why they even coming together, how this fight was made. But Stevenson letting y'all know straight up, the WBO was holding that carrot over his head and said, "You better fight Shakur or else we taking this belt." But y'all remember, some of these belts got different names. The WBO belt, aka Bob's Arum belt. So anybody that most of Bob Arum fighters have WBO belts. WBC, Golden Boy. And that's headquartered in Mexico City. The WBC, WBA in Venezuela. Um, what was the other one? WBA, WBO is in Puerto Rico, I believe, and the IBF is in New Jersey. And the only one, like I said, that always smell like roses is the IBF. You don't hear too much about that. But it's just not. It's not a shock to me that most of Bob Arum fighters go for a WBO title. So I do want to see young Evan Holyfield fight. I want to see if he got some of the goods like his father. I just want to see. It's not promised that he would or not. And I'm interested in watching Nico Walsh to see if they just string him along or whatever. You know. So P4P Sports Entertainment. Salute to you too, King. Or should I say Queen? I don't know. I don't know if you're a guy or girl, but I'm gonna say King. Be on the safe side. But salute to you. Thank you for joining. So that is a good fight. Y'all check it out October 23rd now. At the end of the show, I'm going to read off the up and coming fights just as a reminder of what we can expect that's coming up. Now, we'll move on to Chris Eubanks Jr. He has stated that he wants to, by the end of the year, have a title because he really, really, really want to fight Triple G. Why? I don't know. Why you want to fight Triple G? I couldn't tell you. But he's pressed for that. Um, and it's a couple of guys. He said Lara and Triple G. Now, does anybody know what weight class they fighting in? Because he mentioned Lara and he mentioned Triple G. I know Triple G. Last time I checked was fighting in the 168. Because I'm thinking I remember this correctly when Jamal Charlo moved up to 160. Of course, Triple G moved. He doesn't want to fight Jamal Charlo. And Laura, not too long ago, was at 154 fighting Jared Hurd and stuff. Not that long ago. I know he's had other fights since Jared Hurd, since his loss to Jared Hurd, but but they like forgot about Laura or something. They not really talking about him. So I don't know Laura to be a 160 or a 168 pounder. So I don't understand what Chris Eubanks is saying those two names, um, because I'm believing they're in different weight classes. And so you just random with that, Chris. But he has an anchoring for Triple G. He wants to fight him so bad. He said their fight, their styles will be good because both of them like to mix it up. They like to stand in front of each other and just throw down. So Chris is saying that's the kind of fighter he is. He's giving all praises and glory to Roy Jones for helping him. He works with Roy. Um, he's thinking he's better now, and I mean Chris Eubanks. I've seen a couple of his fights. He looked like he could be a good fighter. I don't know what it is that prevents him from elevating himself. I couldn't put my finger on it. Um, I don't know if he was, people's not gonna let him live off his dad's name. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I thought he was a good fighter because then he fight James DeGale. I'm not to say that dude's name, but he kind of retired him, and that was a good ass fight. So I really don't know what's the deal with him, why he can't get all the fights that he want, why we don't hear much about him and what's going on with him. But uh that could be a good fight. I'm willing to watch him. I'm not willing to pay anything. So I tell you, casuals out there, he's a good fighter, but paying him unless he fights somebody big that we all know, I don't think that would ever happen. That you have to pay for his fights unless he's on somebody's undercard too. If he's on a bigger undercard, I gotta take a sip of water. Sorry. If he's on a bigger undercard, then you know maybe I could see him making some money from people paying to see him fight. But it all depends who he's matched up with. Triple G, I don't even think they can hold a pay per view with Triple G no more. To be honest, I haven't seen him in a while, and if he's fighting, where has he been? Because they have not put him on TV, and I wasn't paying anyway. Now I'm gonna move on. Here's the Chris Eubanks getting what he wants. Get the title, Chris, and then hopefully starting beginning of next year, uh, you'll get the fight with Triple G or Lar. I hope you be successful. Um, y'all can hear me say this a lot. Uh, if Caleb Plant and Canelo is coming up in November, right? If Caleb Plant don't knock out Canelo, he's gonna lose. And let me repeat that again. If Caleb Plant do not knock out Canelo, he's going to lose. They, for whatever reason, want to build Canelo up like he's all that in a bag of chips. He's the bomb.com. They will never let him lose. They don't want to let him lose. If you look at Canelo's fight with Floyd, and that's when Canelo came up. Because, I mean, yes, we saw him with Austin Trout. Um, he didn't blow up until he fought Floyd. And when he fought Floyd, hold on, y'all, 1 second. Hey, French Sean Teasley, I'm online. I'm online. I'm gonna call you back. All right, bye bye. I meant to turn the phone off, but it's my sister. She hardly ever call me unless it's serious, so I had to answer. Um, when he fought, like I said, Trout, we was like, oh, he's a good little fighter, because Trout is a good fighter, and I think he had a lucky punch, because I think Trout was giving him the business too a little bit, but he won the fight. Nobody tripped on it. Um, then he had what else he did? Who else he fought? I think I think he went straight to Floyd. But if you look at his fight with Floyd, that judge that gave them a draw. Now that was some weird shit right there. The look on Floyd's face said it all. But they don't want Canelo to lose. They don't even when he lose, they want to make it look like that it was like, oh, he barely lost. What's up, Red? Reggie Bell in the building. What's up, King? They want to be like, oh, he barely lost to Floyd. Floyd whipped his ass the whole 12 all around. I mean, I was hard pressed to give Canelo any round. He didn't know what to do. He was overwhelmed. That Mexican style fighting ain't shit compared to the black style fighting. I'm gonna call it black style fighting because a lot of black fighters fight that way. They know how to box. It's called boxing, not hit the punch bag. But Canelo blew up from there, and once he blew up from there, you know, you could tell, like I said, with that fight with Floyd, the fix was in. I don't know who else he fought immediately, but I know he fought Lara, and Lara won. Now, anybody who know me know I don't like Lara. I do not like him because you know, I don't like when they give people flowers way before their time. And at the time when Laura was coming up, oh, he's a Cuban fighter. It's not a forlorn conclusion to me that Cuban fighters are the best or the creme de la creme. But they are good fighters. You can guarantee that they know their fundamentals and they technically sound. That is what you can guarantee. But that don't always mean shit. And so when Canelo fought Laura, I watched Canelo get his ass whipped again. Did Laura hurt him? No. The reason why I don't like Laura, so it is very rare for me to big up Laura or speak up for him. I really don't like him because he's a cheater. And I go back to that fight that he fought with El Perro when he poked him in the eye on purpose. Did y'all see how big that nigga head got? That shit was so big. It was like two heads. He was scary looking. He was scary looking because most men near their eyebrows it's like the bone or whatever's behind your eyebrow is profound. It's kind of pokes out. It's like a bridge or it's broad. So El Pedro has that naturally because he's a man. But when he got his eye poked, that shit was so big. It was scary looking. I don't know if y'all remember that fight. Right then and there, I couldn't stand Laura no more. I couldn't stand him because I have always seen that when things got tough, this nigga cheat. And I don't like cheaters. I can't assess a cheater really. All you can say about Laura is he know how to ring generalship because he moves around. 1, 2, move around. 1, 2, move around. 1, 2, 3. That's all he does. But it works. Don't nobody have an answer for it except Jerry Hurd. When Jerry Hurd pieced him and gave him that uppercut and knocked his ass down, and the look on his face was priceless. I was like, "Yeah, bitch, you got caught." And Jared was the one that did it. I was so proud of Jerry Hurd that day, but because I don't like Laura. So believe me when I tell you, I'm not gonna big him up for nobody. I really, 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 he's one of them fighters. He's almost as close to how I feel about Tyson Fury because I'm sure he's a decent man though. Um, he don't, he seemed like he keep his nose clean. He don't seem like a right out liar, but he cheats. Whenever it gets rough, he cheats. He didn't have to cheat Canelo. He beat him fair and square. And what did they do? Canelo won. And right then, I knew, and this was years ago, y'all. That fight happened years ago. And right then and there, I knew that they prefer Canelo. He has the complexion for the protection. Did I mess it up? The complexion for the protection of the collection. That's what he has. Every white man can look at him and say, "Yeah, he's one of us." And some Mexicans feel like they white anyway. So, but every Mexican be like, "No, he's one of us." And Canelo is a proud Mexican. So don't let me, even if I don't like him, I ain't gonna lie on him. He's a proud Mexican. He stays on code. But he is a liar. He's a cheater in my book. In my book. And just because they changed the rules to accommodate his cheating, it don't mean nothing. Because if you cheated once, you always cheated. You didn't wake up right then and just cheated. You probably tried to cheat with Floyd, but Floyd is so rich you couldn't do it. because Floyd could call the shots. He couldn't cheat with Floyd. He probably cheated with everybody else. Who knows? It's just like with Pacquiao. Pacquiao always have an excuse when he's in a fight where he can't really do his extracurricular. Hint, hint. You know what I'm saying? And he can't do his extracurricular. But Laura beat Canelo. So I say to Caleb Plant, if you don't knock this man out, you are not coming home with the victory. They have already wrote the magazine, then did the cover. He done already met the president of Mexico. It is all in Latin America, everywhere. All of that stuff is on the stockpile, just ready to be released. After y'all fight, they're gonna press a button and say send. That shit is already done. And they're gonna be like, damn, how we get this magazine 2 minutes after the fight? Because they already wrote it. If you do not knock him out or do not obviously hurt him several rounds over, you can't just hurt him one good round and think that's gonna be something. You gotta like convincingly beat him. And you know what they still do? Call it a draw. So you're gonna have to go in there with the attitude like you gotta damn near bring this man within an inch of his life. And this guy, oh, how? I don't know what's going on. I don't know why that happened behind those storms or anything. Looking out the window. But yeah, so I don't know what you gotta do to convincingly get the win. But if you just outbox him, which I know you can do, ask Laura how that go. Ask Floyd how it go when they want somebody. You better be in the decision making process of picking the judges, picking the venue. I mean, well, I think the venue is picked, but you better you better be in the know. You better be in the know. And if you got to change something, and they say, well, that's gonna cost you $500,000, go ahead and put it up. Because your career should mean everything to you. And you should not lose to a cheater. And I mean, I'm sorry. That's my opinion of Canelo, is that he's a cheater. And if you don't convincingly, and I mean, like where they can't even put a spin on it, beat him, you're gonna lose that fight. They already are celebrating. They got the cheerleaders and the high school band on standby. They already booked the venue in Mexico. Everything's already set to go. They just don't wait till after the fight is over because they know he won. And because it's inevitable for him to be a undisputed champion. So they trying to build him like he's the greatest ever. Same way they do with Pacquiao. And we all know who the greatest ever. That's Floyd right now. That's Floyd right now. If you want to say the greatest in this era, the greatest in the last 20 years, that's Floyd. It ain't them, but they want that narrative to be put out there like that. Somebody, please, please, somebody other than black become, be the greatest ever. Please, please, please. They begging. But it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. And like I said, if he wins and you actually won the fight, we'll know why. We'll know why, cause I'll probably apologize to you often on my broadcast because I know it's coming. That will be a fight that I'm definitely gonna watch because of you, Caleb Plant. And I don't want you to get robbed or anything. But it's nothing I can do as a fan. All I can do is apologize to what's gonna happen in the future now. If you shock the rest of us and go in there and put on a spectacular performance, kudos to you. But you're gonna have to beat this dude almost to submission. You're gonna have to do that. And I hope that's something you can do. Because if they got like I would want for real, I would want all white judges or some black judges. I don't want no Latinos. Nothing against the whole Latino group. I don't care how y'all feel about it. Y'all come on here and say whatever y'all fucking want. I don't care. I personally, when it comes to Canelo, would not want to have no referee who's Latino, and I don't want to have no judges who's Latino because you just never know. Not all Latino judges or referees are bad or corrupt or anything, but whenever this nigga move, talking about Canelo, there's a group, a wave of, to me, corruption coming right with him. It's traveling with him. I mean, it's like the smog. You can't get out the way. you know. So I would just want the whole damn car, everybody involved, to be on the safe side. I want them all white. That sounds crazy, right? I want them all white or a mixture of white and black. I don't want nobody from no Latin country, not even Spain. I don't want no Spanish judge because they want this nigga to be undisputed so bad that time has shown that when they have their kinfolks, or skin folk, what's the best word to say? People um, from their culture or whatever. And I'm not hating on no Spanish people. So if you come in here and say I'm doing it, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I see what I see. When it come to him, if they tried to cheat in the Floyd fight, they did cheat in the Laura fight. What? How many more cheating do you gotta see before you be like, everywhere this dude go is cheating? So Caleb, run your mouth. Reject any Latino judge. I'm sorry. At this point, you got to do it like that, and don't come in here and say that I said every Latino because I didn't. I just said to be on the safe side because you just don't ever know. It happened way too many times. Then what happened? He get caught with clenbuterol in his system, and another Latino cover up for him. They want this man to be the greatest, which he's not. He got beat by the greatest. You know what I'm saying? But they want him to be the greatest. And I just feel like they're gonna steal it from you. I already know. Like, I'm even getting worked up about it right now. Because I already know how they're gonna do that shit. But I hope you got some money in the bank to make sure things go your way. I mean, you're a champion. He might have more belts than you. He's unified and you're not, but you're a champion. And he a champion. So y'all both deserve respect and equality. But if you let him have any of the decision making, you ain't gonna get it. And somebody can come in here and tell me I'm wrong. Come and tell me I'm wrong. But I bet you nobody can tell me I'm wrong. I bet you nobody can tell me I'm wrong. Every time this dude is involved in something, he already got something set up and waiting. He's cherry picking. He's bouncing all over the place. He should have never been a welterweight ever. And Triple G let that out the bag. Like, how the fuck at 18 and 19 you walking around at 200? Why would you pick welterweight as like your starting professional fight? He was a weight bully then. You know, he probably did some extracurricular stuff to make it to 147 then. You just don't know with this dude. Then supposedly he had more fights in Mexico that's not appearing on his record. This dude is not on a straight and up, on a straight up and up. And some always with him. So Caleb, be careful. You'll hear me rant about that from time to time between here and there. On what day? September 9th. I don't know what day that falls on, but I'm gonna start doing my 30-day countdown for Deontay Wilder. And so I want to read to you guys the boxing schedule that's coming up. You got Laura, not Iris Landy, but another Laura, versus Warrington on this is their second fight on the zone, September 4th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Valdez versus Conseco on and ESPN on September 10th, 10 p.m. I don't know if that fight is going to continue because I read somewhere that Valdez has been caught with pads. Hmm. Then you got Edwards versus Mama. That's British TV. And I'm gonna skip past that. Then you got Le Jaraga versus Charit. I probably fucked y'all names up, but y'all know what I'm talking about. The Zone, September 11th. That's 9/11. Nigga, I ain't watching no fight on 9/11. I'm not watching no fight on not from the Zone at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be somewhere praying to God and thinking that we got past that. That's what I'm gonna be doing. Then on De La Hoya versus Belfort. That's gonna be on Fight TV September 11th. Damn, damn, I was gonna watch that. I didn't even realize. Well, I guess not. I guess not. And but if you subscribe to Fight TV, I have the Zone and I have Fight TV. If they play, no, I don't have Fight TV. I was trying to get Fight TV, but if they play those fights, they will still be there. Like even if you don't watch the Zone that night, you can always come back to it. Same thing with Fight TV. And matter of fact, when I was playing around with Fight TV and I was looking, every card that they had coming up, it seemed like they only charged $16.99. And I wonder if it's a pay-per-view fight, is Fight TV still gonna charge $16.99? But that's a live stream. It might be one of those things like the Zone that you pay once a month. So whenever the Zone have a fight, I don't never have to pay nothing because all I pay is $19.99 for the Zone. I bought it a long time ago, or I subscribed to them a long time ago, and I never let it go. Even though I don't watch it that much, I have it available. Then on September 18th, you got Fulton Jr. versus Figueroa Jr. To all you casuals out there, that's a show to watch. And that's going to be on Showtime, September 18th. That's a fight to watch. Omar Figueroa, he used to be a good fighter. He then fell off a little. Fulton is a good fighter. That's going to be a good one. Then you got Joshua versus Usyk on Sky Sports. It's going to be on the Zone. Like I said, I have the Zone, so I'll be able to check that out September 25th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm not pressed. I really don't care who wins. I think if Usyk wins, I just hope that he doesn't become a hider or a ducker, or he got all these rules and stipulations like Joshua scary ass does. I hope that if Usyk win, he ready to fight whoever and whenever. You know, to include Deontay. Remember, one face, one name, holding all the belts. That's Deontay. Um, then on the next fight after that would be Fowler versus Smith. That's on the Zone on October 9th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know why they scheduled that on October 9th when you got Fury versus Wilder 3 on ESPN Plus Fox pay-per-view October 9th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So why would the Zone schedule a fight at the same day as Deontay fight? He's a hater. We know that Eddie Hearn is a hater, and he would do anything to sabotage. But you're not gonna sabotage with those two guys. I don't know who you would have to put on your card to make people not want to watch the Fury versus Wilder 3. If it go down, I will be in Las Vegas that weekend, and I hope I can go or at least be around. So, um, I definitely would be somewhere glued to a TV or something watching that fight. And then you got Benavidez and Uzcategui. That's on Showtime, November 13th, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Phoenix, Arizona. So that's rescheduled from August 28th, when they had the fight, but the Benavidez family or brothers came down with the COVID, so um, they had to cancel that fight and reschedule it. But I did put out there that if you have tickets to the Benavidez fight, you can still use those tickets to the new date, which is November 13th. You can also get a refund if you can't make that date. So I thought that was good for them to do that. But Benavidez, that's a beast right there. That's the one Canelo hiding from. Canelo would never get in the fight. Matter of fact, Caleb Plant, if you can imagine in your head, look through your crystal ball and think about how Benavidez would kick Canelo ass, that's exactly what you got to do. That's exactly what you got to do. And Canelo is banking that you can't even come close to that. So I say good luck, Caleb. I apologize between here and your fight day because I already know they're going to give you the shaft. Anywho, that's my time, y'all. When you know better, what do I always say? You do better, right? So, thank y'all for coming in. Thank y'all for watching. I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace. Bye-bye.